Run.
And you can see all those goals in the highlight show after we finish here at 10:30. Plenty for us to discuss as Liverpool win 3-2 here at Anfield. Let's head down to the tunnel for some reaction. Des Kelly is with Andy Robertson and Daniel Sturridge. Smashing game of football, wonderful finale, just what we want.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the lads hit the point on the nail on the head there. You've got to get in people's faces. In Europe, English teams have to play to your strengths at times, and our strengths are the intensity and the pace and power that we have. And if you can put that into your game, added to the quality that they have in that squad, you're going to be a match for anybody. You're going to be hard to play against. Teams know now after this last year, and then today started again. This place ain't a nice place to come for away teams. So any team having to come here is going to have to work hard to get anything out of it.
It's a tough place to come at the best of times, but this side is very good as well.
Yeah, but we spoke before the game about Robertson and Trent, going up against Mbappe and Neymar, and they had a very poor game, Mbappe and Neymar. Is it because they weren't ready, or was it because of Trent and Robertson playing very well? I think it was because they played so well, because every time they got the ball, Robertson was so close to Mbappe. He didn't have any space to run at him, and they'd done the homework before the game.
Overall, they were better in pretty much every compartment, weren't they?
I thought so, yeah. Right from minute one, right to the end, I thought they were better. It's fascinating because many moons ago, we're looking at the English Premier League really and saying we've got all the intensity, but we've not got the technique, we've not got the, now all of a sudden we can play and we've got that.
Well, there's a lot of foreign players in our league as well, so there's no reason why it wouldn't
demanded.
be technically.
Our teams now are really at it. They're fit.
Do you think we've reached a stage now where English football could be dominant again in
I do.
Europe, in Champions League?
I really fancy two teams this year. It's either Manchester City or Liverpool. I fancy to win the Champions League. I really think it's going to be an English team. We've been creeping back in the last few years, of course, with Chelsea back, and then Liverpool in the Europa League final. We've had Liverpool in the Champions League final last year. I think it's our turn, and I think we'll be here to stay for a good period of time as well.
Interesting. Let's see the winning goal. Fabulous. Perhaps it was in celebration, going yes.
I hope so.
We'll give them the benefit of the doubt on that one.
I think you have to. I think the way that this team look, the bond they have out there on the pitch at the moment, I think Salah's celebrating in his own way.
What do you think? Shall we have another look? Let's have another look, see what you think.
I think he's happy,
The
first
picture.
He's got a mouthful of water.
Yes.
He's throwing it down as if
The first picture, his hands are up.
Yeah.
So he enjoyed the first.
He should be relieved because he did give the ball away for the goal that went.
I think that's
Mbappe's goal was two.
That's what they do when they're world-class players.
Back to the first half, 3 goals in the first half. First one was Daniel Sturridge, summed it up pretty well. It's interesting he was saying there about Neymar, wasn't it, that he's so good going forward, but we felt we could capitalise down that right-hand side, and he certainly did.
Yeah, Alexander-Arnold was the outball all day long.
And
eventually,
what he is.
oh, wow, what a game he had. He's a serious young footballer, isn't he? But every time they would play it to Trent, and it would be Di Maria coming out from the middle because Neymar wasn't tracking back. So it was killing Di Maria really, and I wanted to see Liverpool just keep switching the play all the time, because that was always the out. But as we all know, Neymar's not a defensive player, and at this level you need to have some form of discipline, I think.
Got that wallop early on, didn't he?
Yeah, I think this just really shows to young players that watch the game that no matter how much talent you have or get out of the stadium, no matter how much talent you have as an individual, you have to buy into the team work ethic. You have to buy into the structure of a team for you to be able to then have the platform to play as well. And far too many occasions we saw him, not only him but Mbappe as well, too narrow, not worrying about their defensive responsibilities at all. But that clip we just saw there is always going to be one moment in a game where these superstars do produce a moment. He came up with the assist, albeit fortunately for Mbappe, but this team disappointed us today. They didn't play with any type of I said before, it's like a testimonial of the pace in which they played the game. So they have to change that if they're going to be any type of contender. I don't see him as a contender.
There's lots of great players, though, lots of great attacking players that don't do great defensive work.
Are they a
You've
team?
just got to be disciplined and get into a position. At least if you stand in a position, the outball is not there. So I think they've got to really learn to do that.
Our final words on Liverpool. Top of the group already. We'll stick that up so you can see it. Just to remind yourselves of the next fixtures that are coming up. Napoli away next, but a great start for them.
Yeah, perfect start, PSG is probably the team that look at could be competing against it for winning the group. Got to win now against them. Away to Napoli next, which is going to be unbelievable tough.
Yeah.
Atmosphere is going to be great there. But yeah, they want to keep the momentum going. 5 wins out of 5 in the league. Now they win this game, so they just want to keep going, getting wins on and getting confidence.
They're going to be a threat on all fronts. Surely they're going to win a trophy sometime soon.
They're tailor-made for Europe. They're playing brilliant in the Premier League. I'm sure they're going to win a trophy this year.
Ria?
And he certainly had his eye in for Liverpool as he scored the winning goal as they beat Paris Saint-Germain by 3-2 at Anfield. There is the table as Liverpool top at the other match between Red Star Belgrade and Napoli finished in a draw, and Liverpool are away to Napoli next. PSG welcome Red Star Belgrade to Paris. Damien, Firmino, the hero with the late goal, they thoroughly deserved the victory though, didn't they? It looked like it wasn't going to come.
Yeah, absolutely, Dara. They will have been kicking themselves if it finished 2-2. Here's the goal here, Mbappe trying to break, a bit like Salah for the Paris' second goal, but unbelievable, feat from Firmino. At the same time, you'd have to say awful defending for Marquinhos. There you go, Mbappe edge of his box. But the feet, like I said, from Firmino, that little chop, Marquinhos doesn't even lay a hand on him, ends up turning. And like all great strikers, expect to get your shot off through the legs, and the keeper doesn't see it at all. But like I said, thoroughly deserved. Paris, like I said, they're not used to playing this tempo, this speed. It just seemed a shock to them from start to finish. Yeah, they had little spells without really ever upping their own tempo. And like I said before the game, for me, this is why they won't win the Champions League. They're just a team of individuals, and the individuals, granted, can hurt you, like Mbappe and Neymar, but they won't go anywhere close, whereas Liverpool, I think, to be there and thereabouts in the knockout stages again this year.
Yeah, there was at the end of that celebration from Klopp a rather curious shot of Salah. That was him actually watching the goal celebration, and he threw the water bottle to the ground. Make of that whatever you will. Richard, we're going to look at the goal that looked for a long time, well, for 7 minutes or 8 minutes, as if it had got PSG a point. Mbappe's goal, Salah's mistake.
Yeah, Salah was looking tired at this stage. You give the ball away rather easily, and then what Damien was saying about individual brilliance, they have it. Neymar, what he wants to do is direct straight at the middle of Liverpool's defence. I thought Van Dijk probably could have been stronger in his tackle, but when it fell to Mbappe, you sensed he was just going to stick it away. It's 12 yards out, and it was a cool finish into the corner. And I think that's what they were waiting for in the second half. They knew Liverpool would press and press and press, but they wait for these opportunities to score the goals, to take them moments of quality. And for me, I think Liverpool played it safe and let PSG in the game. And then as soon as they needed goals, they scored again. Liverpool, PSG, I thought, were poor tonight. Yeah. They have their moments of quality, but in general, I thought mentality, defensively, everything, I thought they were really poor. Yeah,
and I think Ray made the comment in commentary, and you guys had the same view here, that there was no intensity from them at various times during the match. Sure, they got it back to 2-2, but the type of intensity that you're going to need to beat a side like Liverpool just wasn't there for long periods.
No, they haven't got it. They haven't got it in their makeup. I don't think they've had it since they've built this team over the last 6 or 7 years, but they've never had that sort of player. I think the manager that they've brought in is a manager who likes to play a high pressing game. They haven't got them type of players, and it just seemed to me like Liverpool could have scored at any given time today. If PSG stepped up, Liverpool would have taken advantage of the gaps that they leave in different parts of the field. And for all they've achieved, I think they've won 20 trophies since they've been taken over domestically. They still look as far away as ever from winning the Champions League, whereas Liverpool, you've seen the progress over the last 3 or 4 years. They've got a real side now who can compete, and they've probably not bought that one superstar like Mbappe or Neymar, but they've built the team in this period.
Michael, they got to the final last year, which was a fabulous achievement. Sure, Liverpool would have liked to win it, but when you see the other pieces that have been added in, can they go that one step further? Can they get back to the final at the very least?
Yeah, certainly they're going to be in the mix, I think, based on tonight. We're Liverpool, and this is the difference for me, as Richard talked about the players. Liverpool signed players that will fit into how they want to play. We talked about Naby Keita, who didn't play tonight, but Klopp put real running power in his midfield. We were concerned a little bit whether they'd be able to keep the ball. The 3 midfield players were terrific, and they have a real belief. Like in the game tonight, Paris offered so little. Neymar and Mbappe were really poor defensively. Andy Robertson and Trent Arnold put umpteen crosses in the box. They gave them nothing defensively on that side of the game. And I think this Liverpool team is going to continue to grow and get better. The biggest fear I would have is there enough depth in the squad? When they get deep into the Premier League and they're fighting in that front, when they get to the latter stage of the Champions League, and that, you know, will they be able to have enough to compete in the two fronts?
I want to get your view, Michael, on the goal that was disallowed for the foul by Sturridge. It looked as if Salah, well, the referee seemed to give it first of all.
It's a good example here. It breaks the Sturridge. It's a really poor touch, to be fair. First of all, it's a very poor touch by him, you see, and it gets a little bit of the ball, but listen, we don't need to elaborate, it's a sore one. And, but it's excessive force for me, and it's the right decision. We'll see it back here. You know, the official behind the goal, they're much maligned, but, you know, I've witnessed the communication in this many times with UEFA, and he will be telling the referee exactly what happened, and it's the official behind the goal that will have given that decision. When
we were watching this, Michael, you were saying he can't, the additional assistant can't signal to the referee with an arm signal or whatever, but he has this little magic wand and he's communicating with him, or getting his attention that way.
The little thing that he has in his hand with a little stick alerts the referee's arm. There's like a little pad, it buzzes, and I think the referee feels it, and then there's communication between the two. So when you hear that dialogue, they actually do a lot more. They make a lot of decisions in the penalty box. There'll be, you know, no penalty, or penalty. But because they don't gesture, everyone tends to think that they do nothing, but they do a lot more than we give them credit for. Or you give them credit for.
Well, look, you know, but okay. Well, Liverpool fans won't be happy with the way it worked, because it did, and that was the right call, Richard. Yeah, it was a foul by Sturridge.